So, have you ever had that one idea? The one you were absolutely sure was a winner, but it just fizzled out before it ever really got going? Yeah, it happens all the time. Today, we're going to dig into the silent killers that take down great ideas right in the planning stage. Let's get into it.
You see, an idea is really just the starting line. The real race, that's won through validation. It's not about how brilliant your idea sounds in your head. It's about whether it's tough enough to survive its first contact with the real world. That, right there, is the difference between a business that thrives and one that's just a forgotten note on a phone.
All right, here's the game plan for today. We're going to start by identifying that silent idea killer and the 5 fatal flaws you have to avoid. Then, we'll talk about the warning signs to look out for and give you a super practical way to test your idea. And finally, we'll cover how to make that big decision. Let's go.
Ideas rarely fail with a big explosion. They usually die a very quiet death, just getting lost in spreadsheets and business plans. And why is that? Well, it's because we fall in love with our own vision, and we become totally blind to the huge flaws that are hiding right under the surface. That is the silent killer.
Do any of these look familiar to you? Endless delays, a strategy that's all over the place, that nagging uncertainty in the back of your mind? These aren't just growing pains. No, these are warning signs. It's your idea basically telling you that something is fundamentally wrong way before you spend a single dollar on building it. So what are those big underlying problems? Let's break down the 5 fatal flaws that honestly doom most ideas right from the beginning. Okay, this right here is the #1 idea killer, for sure. Your solution might be super clever, but if the problem isn't genuinely painful, if it isn't costing people serious time, money, or stress, they are not going to change their habits or open their wallets for you, period. Think about it this way. A nice-to-have solves a tiny little inconvenience, but a must-have, that solves a painful, urgent problem. So, are you selling aspirin for a pounding headache, or are you selling a vitamin for some minor deficiency? That difference is absolutely everything. And here's the second fatal flaw: trying to build something for everyone. Look, if you're targeting everyone, you are targeting no one. It's that simple. Without a really specific customer in mind, your marketing is just a shot in the dark, and your product has no clear reason to exist. Now contrast that vague everyone with these. These are strong customer profiles. They're not just descriptions, they're basically roadmaps. You know exactly who you're building for, what their specific pains are, and where you can find them.
It is so easy to fall in love with your own solution. But the real question is, have you fallen in love with your customer's problem? You have to understand how they are trying to solve it right now. Your idea has to fit into their world, not force them to learn a whole new one.
Oh, this is such a dangerous trap. Hearing that's a cool idea feels amazing, but that is not demand. Demand is commitment. Are people willing to give you their time for a demo call, their email for a waitlist, or even better, their credit card for a pre-order? That is demand. Everything else is just polite noise. And another fatal flaw: believing you have no competition. Newsflash, you always have competition. It's rarely just another company like yours. It's often a simple spreadsheet or a manual process, or maybe the most powerful competitor of all, just doing nothing. Okay, so those were the deep underlying flaws. Now let's look at the key warning signs you'll actually see day to day. These are the red flags that are telling you it's time to hit pause and really reevaluate things. Simple test. If you can't explain your idea in one single clear sentence, then you probably don't understand it well enough yourself. This isn't just about having a good elevator pitch, it's a test of your own clarity. A truly powerful idea is a simple one. Here's another giant red flag: hiding behind Google searches. If you haven't had at least 10 to 20 real conversations with actual potential customers, your idea is just a theory. And you know what? Theories have a really terrible track record out in the real world. You got to get out and talk to people.
Okay, enough about the problems. Let's talk solutions. How do you actually test your idea without spending a fortune? Here is a simple framework you can use to validate your concept and do it quickly.
First up, the problem strength test. Just ask yourself 4 questions. Is the problem frequent? Are the consequences of not solving it severe? Is there a real urgency to fix it? And crucially, is there value? Are people willing to pay? If you can't say yes to these, your foundation is shaky. Next, use this sentence: I'm telling you, it's your ultimate clarity tool.
It forces you to define your competition, your unique benefit, and your secret sauce. If you struggle to fill in these blanks, that's a huge sign that your differentiation just isn't strong enough. And finally, run some small validation experiments. Please, don't build the whole thing. Can you get people to sign up on a simple landing page? Can you perform the service manually, like a concierge, for your first few customers? These tests aren't about scaling. They are about getting real data on demand before you write a single line of code. So once you have data from these tests, it is decision time. Based on the evidence you've gathered, you really only have 3 choices. You can proceed with your plan, you can pivot to a new direction, or you abandon the idea. It's time for the final verdict. This framework really makes the choice clear. You proceed when the evidence for a painful problem and real demand is overwhelming. You pivot when you know you've found the right problem but maybe have the wrong solution or the wrong customer. And you abandon when you finally realize the core problem just isn't painful enough. And remember this, abandoning a flawed idea isn't failure, it's intelligence.
And this all brings us to the most important mindset shift you can make. Your idea is not some precious treasure that you have to guard with your life. Think of it as a hypothesis. Your job isn't to protect it, it's to test it against reality as ruthlessly as you possibly can.
This quote just nails it, doesn't it? Your ego wants you to be right, but your goal as a founder is to find the truth. This whole validation process we've talked about is about discovering that truth as cheaply and as quickly as possible, before you bet all your time and money on a bad assumption. So, we're going to leave you with this one question. Don't protect your idea. Expose it to the harsh light of reality. Really listen to what the market tells you, and then have the courage to act on that feedback. Is your idea strong enough to survive? Well, there's only one way to find out.